Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope you are doing well on this post-Father's Day Monday. And if you weren't here yesterday, happy late Father's Day to all of the fathers out there.
Wow, you're kind of calm this morning. It's like
calm.
we're lilting into the morning.
Well, you know,
just sort of easing into the week.
I noticed, though, that the reason for that is that there's something that's just not sitting here, that's usually sitting here.
Oh, look at that, the coffee.
Oh
my goodness.
Isn't here yet.
I did part of it. It's true. Well, I got something to do, so I'll be right back.
Okay.
It's true. I ran the water and I didn't do anything with it.
There you go. It's coffee time. So anyway, just wanted to say, let's see who is here while Richard is getting the coffee. Let's see. We got a little bit of we started off with a little bit of a rough start this morning. We're running a little behind.
For hours, though.
But we've been up for hours, apparently. Anyway, so yes, I've been up since 6. So hey, Baked Bacon is here. Brickanista, hey Naomi. Brickworm is here. Claire Skelly is here. Hey, welcome. I don't know if we've seen you here before. Maybe we haven't seen you in a little while, but welcome back. Dallas Rich is here. Hooded One. Johnny Cat. Hey, Johnny. Mike F, another new person. Hi, welcome. Minifig Chick, of course. Molly Williams. Ooh, Molly Williams is taking the center square between Minifig Chick and Moto today. So let's see, who else have we got here? Robert Zaccardi is here. Hey, welcome, Robert. How's it going? Good to see you. Shane Levan is here. Synthetic Mason is here. Zach Martinez. Kim is here. Zarachino. WGJL Productions is here. Hey, welcome. Alyssa is here. Very good. Good to see you, Alyssa. And I think maybe some other people signed on when I wasn't looking because, you know, alphabetical order. Wild Orson is here. How's it going, Orson? Black Jack. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, definitely need... Hey, MJ Stockbrand, how's it going? Good to see you, MJ. Oh, hey, Mike F, you're new. Welcome. So glad to have you on the stream with us today. So welcome. I know that everybody in the chat will make you feel welcome. We've got an awesome crew here. Holly is here. Hey, Holly, how's it going? And I'm looking for... See, I don't even have my settings done anymore. You know what's crazy about all of this, you know, like camera business and all of that stuff is that every time you turn off the computer, it all resets itself. And so I try not to turn off the computer, but sometimes you have to because there's like an update or whatever. Yep. So, yeah, it is definitely a Monday.
You know, I don't know when it happened, but software engineers at a certain point said, you know what, we're going to help you out so much, we're not going to allow you to save as, right? Things just update.
Yeah.
And so you can't go back and say, I want to use the same settings as yesterday. No.
I don't know. Baked Bacon says you feel like the only East Coast guy here. I don't think you're the only East Coast person, but I mean, and also we have people here from Europe and like
it's
from
true.
all over
the place.
Insane Lego fan, you just got out of the shower. Right on. Alyssa is here. That's right. Alyssa is on the East Coast, of course. So my goodness, I'm already starting to speed up. So
I know we're gonna get rolling downhill fast.
Well, I'll tell you.
Well, not downhill as into.
Well, I'll tell you. So first of all.
What I mean to say is we're gearing up to a really exciting discussion about more advanced
landscaping stuff.
Right.
It's still landscaping basics, but just different stuff than we went over last week. And now I have to leave it to you because I have to go get a Disney pin and I have to go find the viewer mail. See, so completely unprepared today.
All right.
So,
well, let's see what's going on here.
Why don't you start off with your pin?
Here. Why don't we? I'll get a pin, and we can also talk about our current challenge, which some people are already putting stuff in for. Well, today's pin for me, I'll see if I can cover up my face so it focuses. Baby Hulk. Right there. That's how I'm feeling this week. It's going to be a wild week. And in other news, we have a challenge going on right now, a build challenge. Not a contest, a challenge where we all make art and share it with one another, and it's micro scale. If you don't know what microscale is, it's well, if you think about minifigure scale being that a minifigure fits inside a Lego door perfectly, then imagine a much, much, much smaller figure with a tiny door, say the size of the back of a headlight brick or something like that, and then scale the whole thing to fit that tiny, tiny figure. That's microscale. Like this right here, this movie theater that Flynn made.
Which I'm making instructions for.
Right? And then here, I'll move the bus here, but anyone who could fit in those doors would be very tiny. But the scale is consistent over the whole thing, right? If a person is only 2 dots tall, 2 1x1 round plates. And that's actually, you know, we can get into a deep discussion about scale at some point, but I wanted to say, in both my professional work as a lighting designer and also in Lego, I scale everything based on the size of a door. Who's going to go through the door? That determines how high the ceiling is, how high the next floor is, everything based around the size of a door. How do you all do it? Moto, Dave Morgan, anyone else? Anyone out there? How do you establish scale, or is it something you really think about?
Okay, I'm back.
Well, what about you? How do you think about scale? Just to finish up on that.
Yeah, I don't know. The doors and windows end up being the big ones for me. Like if windows especially. So yeah. But I have my Disney pin.
I like this one.
So today I've got Tinkerbell going on because frankly I could use some pixie dust right now. So
Did she focus?
Yeah, she did. So I'm just gonna yeah.
Right? We need a little magic this week.
We need a little magic this morning.
Oh, look at that. Speaking of magic, that timer means the coffee's ready.
And speaking of weeks, happy Pride Week, everybody. It's been Pride Month, but now we're in like the home stretch. And I'm writing a really interesting article on Brothers Brick, and I'm very excited about that. So, you've got that going on. Oh, and I can talk about our other challenge. And that is happening. This next challenge is going to start this Friday.
When the microscale challenge ended.
Right, when the microscale challenge ends, which you will turn in your pictures by Thursday. I think everybody knows the thing by now. But we are doing a Rebrick challenge of this set. This is the Lego City Street Sweeper. It's 89 pieces. It's 60249. Pick up a copy of this set. It's a $10 set, and then the challenge is going to be to build something using only the bricks in this set. So we will see. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I think it's going to be awesome. And if you cannot afford a set, it is not too late to email me at Flynn@TrickyBricks.com. Here, I'll even put the email up. Flynn@TrickyBricks.com. Send me your mailing address, and we will send you a copy of the kit so that you can join in. I want to try to make this our biggest. I think our record number of entries has been 25. Is the most we've had. I want to see if we can beat that for the Rebrick challenge. We'll see, but I'm really excited about this one.
Hey, Flynn.
Yes.
What are the exceptions to only using the bricks in the set?
Oh yes, there are 2 exceptions to only using the bricks in the set. You can use a base plate, and you may also you may use a base plate, and you may also use minifigures. Whatever minifigures that you want is fine. Just everything, like all the basic building bricks, all have to be thing.
Have to be thing.
Have to be. I'm losing it.
Well, what happens is your attention gets divided between reading the chat and saying the words.
And then you're not here to bring me back on track. So
let's take a deep breath. Have a sip of coffee.
So yes, so I do have. There are a couple of entries for that were some late entries for our movie challenge, and I was unfortunately unable to have them ready for today. Like I told you, it's a Monday.
So we'll see those on Wednesday, right?
We will see them on Wednesday. That was how we will kick off on Wednesday. And I'm really sorry that we didn't do it today, but honestly, like life happened, and it's been. I just started back at my job last week, and it's been a bit of an adjustment.
That's so exciting. He's a teacher again.
Yeah, it's exciting. It is exciting. And so anyway, but I apologize for not getting that together. It's just been it's been a lot. There's been a lot going on.
Yep.
So yeah. Anyway, fun. All right.
What is this? Is this from your class?
No, this is just me. Oh yeah, this is from my class. I was teaching. I was teaching rockets, and I was showing them how they could make like rocket cones out of these. Right.
Yep.
All right.
Your attention is divided with the chat, isn't it?
I'm trying. All right. So anyway, can you tell it's Monday? Oh my God.
Man,
all right,
I would have loved Teacher Flynn as a kid. Those are some lucky kids. I completely agree, Holly. He is a wonderful teacher. He's like, I don't even know how to say. When he has a room full of kindergarten through like third graders, and they're all like just adorable little like big-eyed kids making things. Yeah, he's a wonderful teacher. As I think you'll be able to see as well when he's what's going on here. Oh look,
so
a new feature.
So it's an older feature, but we're
advancing it.
I know that everybody was concerned that that Ms. Thing had been taking a lot of time off, so she is returning to deliver us our viewer mail.
Oh, thank you.
Week.
Thank you, Ms. Thing. And for anyone who wasn't here in the early days of the chat, Ms. Thing was an actual tool. She had a job, which was to keep our down camera focused. You know, and so she's gonna have new life and new roles.
She has new life as a viewer.
But what's going on?
Delivery.
She just delivered us some mail.
So we have some. We have a few pieces of mail. We're gonna do 2 of them today, and I'm gonna save the next one for Wednesday because I want to spread it out.
Yeah.
But this one comes from Christopher Chalice, who's always in the chat. I hope you're here now, Christopher.
And we want to not show his address.
Yeah, this one comes all the way from the UK. So let's see what we got here. Oh, this is awesome!
That's awesome.
All right, and this is great. So we have here some stickers from the opening of the I don't know how you say it. Is it Leicester Square?
Leicester? I'm not sure. Please correct us.
Square. Yeah, please.
We need help.
Anyway, here they are. So it's the stickers that they had when they opened the store.
See, is it going to focus? In just a moment, if you bear with us, it should... Oh, there you go. Thanks.
New store opening, landmarks, there's a Big Ben, and that's Lester, the exclusive minifig that you can only get at that store.
Oh, he's so cool.
Right?
Very happy.
We have him, actually. We got sent him from a friend. There's your double-decker bus. And then there he is in front of some
look,
landmarks.
we made our own double-decker bus that we showed a few minutes ago.
Well, I love Lester. I love his British flag vest and his bowler hat.
Now,
and he has an umbrella.
He's carrying an umbrella.
Yes, he has an umbrella. That was.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much,
That's
Christopher.
Really
this is
so
awesome.
Thoughtful.
This is so cool. All right.
Well, so I would call that our sticker set show and tell for today, but I already pulled a separate one.
Yes.
So this is a special one.
But we do have another. Yeah, that's a really good one. We do have another package. Ms. Thing is telling me.
I don't know if we're gonna frame this, or I don't really feel like I want to put these stickers on a mock. They're kind of. I don't know what I'm gonna do with these. Maybe we could frame them. What are you trying to?
This one is a little bit. Yes, this one's a little bit large. This one's a little bit larger. Oh, thank you, Miss Thing.
Oh, look, what a surprise!
She says okay.
With her Dutch ring.
Right. She has her ring from True. So this is from Naomi Brickanista. Yep. We have I got it. We got a great little package here. To TrickyBricks Studios, which I love, and let's see
and I think
what we got.
It was actually, we don't go out much these days, so I think this was at our post office box a little longer than a lot of our visits. What?
Oh my goodness. Oh, this is so awesome. And there's a card. So let's look at the card.
Okay.
This is great. It says "You're amazing" on it. It's a pretty awesome card.
Wow, beautiful
It says-
handwriting.
I know. Wow, Naomi,
You
you
have
like
really beautiful script.
You win, and this is to Flynn, Richard, and Logan. Thank you for creating such a positive, casual, and educational live stream for us fans. You have been so great and encouraging in the development of Super Sewer Baby. I thought you should have some for yourselves to share or to share with others on the screen. So she sent us sewer babies.
Super Sewer Baby.
This is so awesome. This is so great.
Thank you very much.
And Naomi, I hope it's okay if I share this next part of the card. This is really awesome. I may not have told you this, but my dear sweet corgi was also named Logan, and I loved him very much before he passed in February 2019. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry to hear that. I know. I definitely know what that's like.
Yep.
I found his name patch, which was on his backpack, and thought you might want it. I also included some cookies that he might enjoy as well. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's really sweet.
Naomi, we're going to put this on Logan's backpack.
He does have a little backpack.
He has a little one that he carries his water in when we go on hikes.
Yeah.
Thank you very, very much. That's so touching. That's awesome. And now he's going to get these training rewards at Logan Cookie Time as well.
Yeah. And then she says, thank you again for all your encouragement. And as this coral card says, you're amazing. I look forward to watching your continued success. With much love, Naomi. Thank you so much.
That's so sweet. That's wonderful.
It's really,
you're such a wonderful part of this community, and we're so happy to have met you. Did we meet at Bricks by the Bay or at Baylug?
Yeah, Baylug, actually. Yeah. Baylug.
Thanks.
Thank you, Synthetic Mason. We are going to give people cavities. It's true.
We have to do something with Super Sewer Babies.
I know.
Right?
Super Sewer Baby is going to be it's going to be awesome.
So we'll share. We're going to go to this big outdoor space we've been meaning to get to.
Yes.
And we're going to take Logan there on his 60-foot leash, and we'll put this on the backpack and send you a picture.
So thank you so much.
We love sharing mail with you all.
And thank you, Naomi, and thank you, Christopher. And I'm just going to say, there's this package, which I'm really excited to open, but we're going to wait on this one for Wednesday to see what it contains.
More viewer mail. Thank you, Ms. Thing, for helping with viewer mail. A lot cooler than my first graphic, right? Which was just... Speaking of which, do we, it's 10:20, should we do sticker time show and tell?
Yeah, let's go ahead. Sticker time show and tell, everybody. It's that time of the day. Sticker set show and tell.
What do we have today?
Miss Thing finally went postal.
It was coming.
Yes,
you knew it was going to happen.
It's true. It's true. We didn't do official sticker shit. That was viewer mail.
That was viewer mail where we got
these
awesome stickers.
But this is different.
I don't think we're gonna put these on bricks, are we?
No.
We'll have to.
That's gonna get saved.
I want to see these more often. Okay. So this one is from 2018.
Yes.
Right? This is from set 75885. It's a Ford Fiesta M Sport WRC. And a cool thing about this little car is it had two sets of hubcaps, and one of them were star-shaped. We'll have to look for those star hubcaps. They were super cool.
Yeah.
But for a tiny car, it was basically covered in stickers. This sticker sheet is barely bigger than the model.
It's true.
Or smaller than the model. It's good. I love those little cars.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Sticker set show and tell.
Sticker set show and tell.
So I just want to remind everyone, if you have stickers that you particularly like,
yes,
email us a picture of the stickers and we'll share them during this segment.
Yeah, so we're gonna start. We would love to see what kind of stickers y'all like and what's really good, so we can definitely and we'll do the research. Just take a picture of the sticker set, send it to Flynn at TrickyBricks.com, and we'll take care of the rest. All right. All right.
Uh-oh, Shane said he's going to be on his A game today, and he's already shown it.
There's going to be like a fierce competition now. Puns, really.
What a nice sort of guest show we had yesterday, right?
It was great. So if you didn't get to check out, if you didn't get to check out the stream yesterday, definitely go check it out. It was a really great conversation. There were Holly, Minifig Chick, Moto, and us.
And
Boone stopped by
for a little bit
at the beginning. And what we ended up talking about was like how we source our bricks. And it ended up being a very interesting conversation that went into how to clean bricks, how to clean, like if your bricks have sun damage,
yellowed
how to
from
do
UV
that.
damage. But especially getting them. I mean, bricks, it's no secret, right? Lego bricks come at a cost, right? They're kind of pricey. So there were so many great tips. I think it could save you hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Go check it out.
Yeah.
The video yesterday.
I think you'll really
both for new and used bricks. Just great ways to get stuff you can build with.
Yeah, and there's stuff we cover, like the stuff on the Lego website. We covered the bricks and pieces, and we covered
which are
Brick
great
Link
sources for brand new, like innovative, like. We have something to share.
Oh
with
no,
you.
I forgot we were gonna do that. Okay, we got our bricks and pieces order, and I don't know, like,
what's bricks and pieces?
Should I lay it out now, or should I just save that for Wednesday?
Why don't you give a tease? All right. And
I'll give
you tell
tease.
anyone who doesn't know what is bricks and pieces?
So it's a place on the Lego website where you can go to order pieces that have come in newer sets.
Right.
So I want to this is like a little teaser, and then we're going to do the. Well, I don't want to I'm afraid, like, if I show it to you now, then we're going to start running out of time for the class or for the basics. But it's up to y'all.
What do you think? It's pretty exciting. We can always talk more about landscaping later. I think this is too exciting. We have to share it with you.
Okay.
I bet you haven't seen some of these pieces.
All right. I'm asking. I see people teasing. Okay, little peek. I think that's the. I think we're going to give a little peek now. I'm just going to say. Here we go. Baby elephant.
Okay, here, I'm going to try and get something to hold up
so it'll be in focus.
Yeah.
Baby elephant. I'm in love with the baby elephant.
Go like this.
I sadly didn't get the baby sloth that I wanted to get. That makes everything real dark.
Oh.
Anyway.
Okay.
Oh, you know what?
It's white.
I'm so silly. We will just do,
down cam.
We'll do the down cam. Okay, there you go. Baby elephant. All right.
Oh, yeah, everything is falling.
Baby elephant. And I've got this gorgeous manta ray. Right? Amazing.
That's cool. I love those colors.
And one more, and because we were talking about this, one more.
This is the one I can't even stand.
The anglerfish that glows in the dark. I am so
Look at that.
excited.
Can you imagine?
It's so cool.
We got 3 of them.
We did get 3 of them, and yeah. So there is there's a tease. The rest of it.
Oh, I have to try something. Does that anglerfish fit on a minifigure?
No, but there's
an anglerfish guy.
There is an anglerfish guy from the Oh, now let's keep him together.
Oh,
He's from Monkey King.
Yeah, he's special.
I think maybe his legs might fit in there. So actually,
that's crazy.
Well, only kind of. So the anglerfish does kind of fit on minifigure legs. There's a gap there, but it does have 3. And what I love about this is that you can move this along.
Have them forward and back.
You can kind of move it
when
back
you have a
and forth.
giant school full of creepy anglerfish.
So we'll definitely be doing. I have plans to do something with the anglerfish and the guy from the Atlanta sets, like the creepy anglerfish guy.
Now,
so
if you have a minute 20 seconds to spare sometime and you haven't seen it, go on our YouTube page and check out our Treasure of the Snake Queen. The reason I want you to do that, I mean, I think it's fun. It's cool. It's one of the best things we've made, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But Life Lights, a company that makes third-party lighting for Lego, made custom blacklight LEDs for us,
they're so
specifically for that
amazing.
piece. And when I see that anglerfish, I think I want to light them up with blacklight. Can you imagine like a whole dark scene with glowing like jellyfish and anglerfish?
Yes.
Right? Okay, so this guy's back.
Yeah, okay, good. He's back together.
Here, I'll take Ms. Thing and put her home too.
So that was the. So anyway, that was just a little sneak peek of our bricks and pieces haul, which we will go into in more detail on Wednesday's show before we start building.
Yeah, and it came really fast too, right?
Well, yeah, fairly quickly, for sure. Okay.
So what are we talking about today?
Goodness. All right. Well, now we're gonna start talking about our landscaping basics, and I am just doing. I'm making sure that I have all of my things in order here.
Ducks in a row here.
Before we go all crazy. Here we go. So last time, we did the wait.
Yes. Did you tell me because
Since ordering by set number is hard if you don't know stuff yet. No, it's true. It's true.
we'll
I'll try and
go
let
over
you
the whole
know.
process, right?
Yeah, I'll go over. Yeah, maybe we'll just go over the process of what that's like. All right, so today we are going to be talking about ways to do water. We're also going to talk about ways to do trees, and also ways to do cliffs, or like
Cliffs.
like if you wanted to make a waterfall.
So that'll be. So we're expanding on what we talked about last time. You did talk about rocks, and you talked about ground.
Yep.
I like to think of these things in terms of geology, right? What is the base stuff? Is it bedrock, and then the cliffs come up, and then there's water flowing over, and then there's trees coming out of the cliffs. So I start with the rocks myself.
So I think rocks are a good place to start, especially if you're doing that. But if they're like smaller, I think it's better to put them in later.
Oh, you mean like
Just in
just
my
a
opinion.
small rock sticking out of the
Yeah,
ocean,
like those
right?
I like to just put in where they're doing, but definitely like a giant, like where if it's gonna be a large rock face, yeah, definitely first.
Well, how about this? If you, since it's easier to have one person directing the flow of this, why don't you pick the topic you want to talk about, and I'll get you the bricks.
Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about water first. That seems to be one that people like a lot. Oh, hey, Films is here. Hey, how's it going? Welcome. Oh, good. Yes, tree tips. We will definitely be giving you a couple of tree tips. And again, we're going over basics today.
It's basics. Yeah, I was a little wrong earlier. What I meant is we're expanding. We're taking the next group of topics in the basic discussion.
Right,
and then
exactly.
we'll go all the way to what we consider advanced based on
On our
what we've
experience.
done before. So we'll do basic, intermediate, and advanced on all these topics.
Awesome. So, I think let's go ahead and start with water. So let's move to this camera. And you can see I got my blue base plate, and we talked a little bit about, can we get some tan plates, like either 2x or just regular plates so I can quickly cover some space. So, we talked last time about like the height of your ground cover, and it always looks a little weird when somebody it doesn't look terrible, but it just looks a little not quite as good.
Water doesn't
when somebody
higher than the rock.
right. So when somebody just puts a brown base plate down and then puts some blue plates on it to kind of like look like a river, and that's great if you don't have time or whatever. But if you want to get into something that is a little bit more advanced, these are some things that you can do. So what I might do would be to start off with a blue base plate. And oh wow, it is going fast and furious in there. Shane, you are on fire today. You are on fire. Is it because I pronounced your name right after 50 streams? I'm so sorry.
We hope that's right.
Yes, a little bird told me that was the correct pronunciation, so I feel good about that. Yes, and please, if we ever mispronounce your name, oh my gosh, please send me an email and let us know how, because we can only read it off the paper and sort of assume what we know. So,
here, I'll get you a 4 there. Here's a 4.
All right, so I'm just, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a quick and dirty shoreline here for a river. And yeah, so this is a great place for to use these angled pieces, because now you can start making one that has an angle to it. But I don't suggest doing these on the lower level just quite yet. This is a great way. Angled plates are actually a terrific way to shape your river once you have the tiles. You can absolutely do it like this. Just know that if you tried to, like, if you wanted to go in here, say, and fill this entirely in with like transparent plates, then you're gonna end up with some gaps. So either way, like if you're just doing a plain, a plain river and you want to add some little bits in and that's it, these are great to use. If you think you're gonna tile the whole thing, then save your angled plates until layer 2. And I'll show you what I'm talking about.
We talk sometimes about going from low res to high res, right? So like high res for the sand would be things like these 1x(n) plates here. And we usually wait until later on to paint those in, right? It's like those are the tiny brush strokes.
Right. And we're gonna do a kind of, I'm gonna do a sort of like wide river here. And you can see like, like Richard was just saying, like, we're just laying out a general shape of what our water is going to look like.
Well, it's like
our shoreline's going to look like.
Color blocking, right? You're blocking in big areas.
Right. And because I have these plates, these smaller plates, I can go ahead and start adding some variety into the shoreline, so it's not just like one big line. Okay. Cool. Oh, awesome. That's great. Hey, Films, that's your first day without classes? Awesome. So glad that you're able to join us. That's great.
You know, Flynn and I don't know that we have exactly the same approach. We end up in a very similar place, I think, with our landscaping. But one thing that I like to do is I think about the color palette in advance. Am I going to use tan and dark tan where the sand is wet? Am I going to use gray, dark gray, blue, trans blue? And I get all those out in front of me so that when I start laying out, I'm not so much searching through these collections as just being like, lay down, lay down, lay down. Right? Because you don't want to think too carefully about it early on, right? It's not like you're not drawing your lines in a hard pencil or pen first time round, are you?
No, but we've also discovered what happens if you just randomly throw things down.
Well, talk about that a little, actually, because I think our solution worked out really well.
It did. I mean, so talking about water, back when we did our very first big mock, which was our California Dreamin' mock, it had, it was like a theme park ride that had a ride that went all the way around it, and there was a giant lake in the center, like so many of those things have. And so we we laid it all out. It was about 2 days before the convention, and we were just like,
oh yeah, we had all the attractions. We were just like, let's detail the water. And
yeah.
One night, or 7 o'clock at night, we're like, let's detail the water. What happened?
We just started like laying things out, and I can't tell you it. We went to bed feeling okay about it.
Yeah,
and then
we did so much work. We laid down, I don't know, we must have laid down 600 plates and tiles, right?
At least,
or 1,000.
Right. So we got up the next morning to look at it, and we hated it. It looked terrible. It literally looked like somebody just laid a bunch of stuff down.
Well, it looked like a set of pajamas that were too busy.
Yeah, it was too busy. It didn't have any focus or any direction, and that's something that we'll talk about too here in a minute. All right, so let's say now I've got my general shape laid out. And like we talked about in our class last time, that maybe you would add in some other colors here on the shore. And look, the more the more plates I add, the more levels I have going down to the base of my water.
So this could almost be like we looked at terrain last week. You could put little tables over here and then rock all around them to make this go up like a hill.
Right, exactly. And I think that's what level you're going for is really, really important. Okay.
And then there's that $500,000 word, topographic contrast, right? When you look at it, when you look at the map, some parts should be higher than others, so it's not all just flat.
Right. I don't like that. See, I'm really picky about my shorelines.
I wanted to expand on what you said about California Dreamin', right?
Sure.
Because what we found was that we had just laid down light blue and dark blue and transparent, and white for froth on water everywhere, and it was chaos. So what we decided was we would pick out certain areas, like maybe in this corner here, the water eddied around and there was like foam here. And then here there was another like flow pattern. So we started with what we did really chaotically, like place, and then we edited it so it looked cool. Right, and that made all the difference. It gave you some rest and added action and the water helped to focus on the stories that we wanted, right?
Yeah. So one of the best ways that you can add some variety into your water is by using 1x1 clear pieces. So let's say that this is, again, we all build with the bricks we have, right? So you may not have enough blue tiles or blue transparent tiles to do this entire river, right? Like all you may have is this. All you might have time for is this. But there are ways that you can kind of jazz up your sorry, I'm getting these things out. There's ways that you can jazz up your water. So let's say that this was what you were able to do, all right? Then you can actually add in, now I'm adding in cheese wedges here. So I'm just adding in some clear cheese wedges, and I'm just putting them in places where maybe the water is pushing up against the shore.
That's actually something I wanted to talk about a little bit. We talk about painting with light and painting with textures. Mm-hmm. Often, like if I have my hand here, well, I don't know, it's pretty, like it's a little more shadowed on this side and lighter on this side. I'll do that on the whole model. I'll decide the sun's way over here, so that means everything on this side of a curve gets a highlight and the other side is a shadow. And I do the same thing with water. The flow pushes up against this side, so this all gets turbulence and less so over here.
So unfortunately, I'm not finding a ton of 1x1 clear round pieces because I've used all of them lately. But just know that you can use 1x1 rounds in clear. White is another great way. So if you're doing a beach, let's say you were doing a beach. Let's say this is not a river. Let's say this is a beach. All right. Maybe you might add in a line of white along to simulate the foam coming up on the shore, right? That's a way you could do it. You could also replace these with white if you want to make a really bold statement.
Yeah. Or you can use both, right? Sometimes I'll do really bold highlights to give myself, action.
Right. And then you can also combine these, right? Yeah. Now I'm adding these clear pieces onto the edges of the white pieces, and it's bringing more light into the whole thing. So
there's another $50 word here is fractals, and you probably heard of fractals, but in case you haven't, think about a fern leaf, right? A fern leaf is big, and then you look a smaller detail, it looks like a smaller fern leaf, smaller, all the way down. And I do the same thing with landscaping. It's fractal, right? It's not super rectangular, it's sort of curly-cued. So one good piece of advice I got one time was think about it like country shapes. Country shapes and shapes of lakes and oceans are fractal. They have these uneven, raggedy shapes.
Yeah,
and that's what we do with water, right?
Exactly. And I'm sorry that I don't have the 1x1 rounds to keep showing you this, but what I'm trying to show you is that you can, like Richard was saying, we can kind of paint with light or paint with color, and try and create some flowing lines in your river. Right, so now I've made this kind of, this kind of shape, right? I've got flow lines.
And then I would think there's probably another one down here,
where
but it's not
small.
A continuous thing.
Right, so you don't want to just have like one giant line that goes, like, think about doing, multiple smaller lines. This is also, I think, a really good tip, and unfortunately this boat is really oversized for our river, but I'm going to show you, again, if you only have a base plate or plates to use as your water, regular plates, you can sign down. The boat fills the entire river. I don't know how they're getting down the river.
What if this is our boat?
That's a little too small, I think.
All right.
We'll just use this for now. But the point I'm making is, when a boat is going through water, it's just not sitting on water, right? Like, it's actually got some lines around it where things are, where water is splashing up against the side of the boat. If it's moving, it's going to have a wake. What's that?
Brickanista says it's going to be stranded.
Yeah, it is. I know. But I think you understand what I'm saying, right? Like, you could just put the boat in, or you could add little trailing lines around it. You could add some clear bits around the edges of it. You could, and I really think that you should. I shouldn't say that. What I really like to do is I like to combine for the wake around, especially right around the edge of the boat, is white plates and clear mixed together.
Yeah, and often if you want your translucent pieces to show up brightly, you can put white under them.
Yes.
We do that, right? We create waves with white under them.
Oh, yeah. Well, yes, I know. I'm sorry, Christopher. I know I said the name wrong. I have no idea. I try. The way we said whatever where the stickers are from.
Oh yeah, I'm so sorry. If you give us a phonetic pronunciation, we try.
I know. Yeah. So I guess I could have looked it up. Whoops. All right. So that is how.
We will look it up.
There's some little tips on how to do just kind of plain water. Now, if you want to get a little more complicated, and I'm going to take some of these things off. And do we have a brick separator around so I don't tear my fingernails off?
Probably.
Oh, look, there's one right here. A turquoise one, even.
And speaking of which, should I get some medium azure or another blue or something to go in there?
That's something else to think about, actually. If you want some variety, not only can you use the clear or the white, but adding in some other colors can also make it look a little bit more exciting. All right.
Flynn, where do we have medium azure? I'm not finding it right now.
It's over there in the closet somewhere. Okay, so this is another method, and this is my personal favorite method, and that is using transparent blue tiles, and I'm putting them. I'm just laying them down, and they start to, they bring a lot of light into it, and they look really, really beautiful. But also too, like, look how, we were talking about like the white or the different color on the edge of the river. Look how weird that looks with just the tile right up against the sand, and because it's the same level as the sand, it makes it even weirder to look at from the side. So. Something to think about, we were talking about like flow lines and shape lines. You could certainly tile everything exactly one direction all the way, like all the way around. Like your whole river could look just like this.
Oh, covered solid.
Yes, but you risk colored solid covered solid all in one direction.
Yeah.
So what I suggest is try and build some of that flow that we were talking about into. Oh my goodness! I'm gonna pull my fingernails off. You know what?
We have a brick separator sitting right here.
Well, it's for a tile. You know how that is.
That works.
I would suggest trying to put some tiles in other directions as well, just so that you mix things up a little bit and it's not all too much of the same thing. But you can also use this to your advantage. right? Like you can create your flow lines in your that you're looking for in your water by carefully using the direction in which the tiles go.
Well, yeah. What I often do is I'll say like they're going to be, I don't know, 80% all going up and downstream, and then just every now and then I put one. And I also, it's such a pain to pull up tiles that are in the wrong place that often I'll start laying out tiles just loose to get my overall pattern.
Yeah, actually, that's a really, really great. That's a really great tip. Just kind of laying them where they go, right?
And I'm not thinking too carefully here. I usually set a couple of small rules in my head, like there never going to be more than 3 tiles running the same direction next to one another. That's a simple rule. And another simple rule is, every now and then there's a perpendicular tile, like that. And by establishing only about 3 different simple rules, I find there's an organization to the overall flow. And that'll be different for rocks and water and trees. Do you do something kind of like that? I don't list them out like a rule, but I do the same thing over and over again, slightly different.
So somebody was asking about the whether we mix up sizes. Yes. And yes, absolutely. Right now, I'm just using these 1x2. You can see now, in my opinion, for this size of a river, I feel like a 1x4 is too big. It's not giving me the kind of detail I want. Now, if I was doing a much, much larger, like an ocean or something, I would definitely put more of these long ones in. But I was going to mention throwing 1x1s in really helps further mix up how things look, right? So I can start putting a single in. And if you know ahead of time, like I'm gonna have my giant boat here and my boat needs a wake, and you're thinking about doing this method, make sure that you build in some 1x1 plates with a stud. All right, and on that note, it is time for our special guest. Because there's going to be a revolt in the chat if we don't do that.
When we come back, I want to talk a little bit about what we've done on the right here.
Okay.
But we better pull this aside or it's going to get destroyed.
It is absolutely going to get destroyed.
And you have
everybody,
you have a towel now, right, Flynn?
I do. I don't? I do.
I thought not.
I don't know. I said, I'll take care of it. And then, of course, I always lose it. All right. Here we go, everyone. Oh, he's already here. Hi, everyone.
He's shaking the table.
It's Logan cookie time.
I didn't pull open the new treats yet.
Oh, the new treats can happen Wednesday. Yay!
He's good at catching now, right? Okay, look at everyone. Say hi. Hi. Good boy. And our moment of happy sounds.
Yay, Logan. There. Well, there we are.
That's Logan cookie time. It makes me so happy.
Logan cookie time. It is. It's funny. I think Logan has become the star of the show. He has eclipsed us.
That's what they say about kids and animals, right?
I think we're just gonna have to put I think I'm just gonna have to just put his picture on the thumbnails. It would probably.
That makes sense.
Okay, so hey, and if you're new to the stream, please hit that subscribe button and hit that bell button, and you can see when we're doing streams. We actually do Logan Cookie Time every day.
About 10:45, right?
About 10:45.
We it's hard to tell because it seems so chaotic, but we actually have a schedule.
I can just tell when the numbers start going up.
Oh, right, because that's what people want to see.
People put it on. Okay,
when you can, go back to the down cam.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
I see you getting a little...
There we go. All right.
So, we've started, while we're talking here, we've started creating an uneven pattern. And what I find, and maybe it's harder to tell, like this. Like this is pretty well established here. There's so much of this that I think I would want to build up these others. But around each of these sand prominences here, I've started to build up color.
Yeah.
And I've also, using a 1x1 tile here, I've started to allow things to be attached to the top of it. And I wanted to show one other thing. This is different than what we've already done. But, so these transparent blue ones here show the dark blue underneath. But you can also...
Yeah, I was gonna. I was gonna mention
put white underneath any color.
Well, that's one thing I wanted to mention is that building. Another thing you can do, and I don't want to do it now because it takes a long time. But they did this to great advantage in the Ninjago City, and that was they included in the water. The water was completely done with like angled plates, and like the angles would meet up with each other so that you could see a real difference in color. And they used dark green and a couple of others. And then the whole thing was tiled over with these tiles. And you got this great like changing color. So, you know, water has different depths, and it really gave, you know, think about when you're laying this out as like a topographical map, right?
Yep.
Like it's showing where would the water be deeper? Where would it be, you know, where would it be more shallow?
Yeah. What do we need to build this up a little bit more?
More tiles.
Some more. Do you want to do more of this work so we continue this established pattern?
I want to move on to trees though here pretty quick.
Okay.
I feel like we've done like for basic water. This is a great. I think we've shown you a little like variety of things that we can do, or that you can do to make interesting water.
You want these guys instead? Just ask.
No, it's okay.
And I'll bring them to you.
This and here. I'm just going to add in a few more. But I wanted to show you that kind of going back to something we were talking before is like now that you have your shoreline established and you start to get your tiles in, this is where you can make really interesting things happen with angled plates. So now I could go in and lay this over top.
Do you need the opposite plate?
Probably.
You need the opposite.
But it'll take forever to find it. Oh, here, actually, this will work. Take a look at this. So now I can start angling this out because I'm going to want to build up a second level of plates now because I want to be above this, right? I want to be above these tiles so I get that shore. And again, you have to think about it ahead of time. It's like if you go with a method like Ninjago City where you put the colored plates underneath, that's yet another level that you have to deal with. So try and think ahead a little bit about that. But I'm going to show you just by adding this plate here, right? Like I've made now an angle in my shoreline. And I can do the same thing. Did you find one?
No, they're all. We must have gotten them, you know, in a bulk order or something because they're all the same direction.
But look at that.
We can use maybe not so much with the square ones, but you can extend this shape out.
Yeah, you could use a 1x2 again with your. If you're making a detailed shoreline, then you'll have the plates and stuff to fill in. But I love what these what you can achieve with an angled plate over the tile.
So you can start to really round out the shape of it and lose all of these square things.
Absolutely.
There was one other thing. I wanted to talk about right now. This could be anything from a tiny little trickle in a cabin's backyard to a giant river. And I don't have a micro scale boat, but if you put a micro scale boat here and then some tiny little trees, then you've got a giant landscape.
Yeah.
But if you start putting flowers around the corner, around the corners of these things, like here and here and here, then you've utterly changed the scale. Right, so be careful with what you do with landscaping.
Yeah, and I have to say, this is the other way. This is another great way of softening your shoreline. So if you have little things like that that you're trying to cover, and this is a great way to help soften. I mean, like, look, this corner is instantly softened by these leaves. It's kind of sticking out over it. So a lot of it is like. Distracting the eye from one thing to the other. So, any questions, like any further questions about water before we move on to trees? Because, yeah, there's going to be some pretty basic trees, but...
Now, I mean, what you see here is far from finished. We could continue this idea for the next, couple of hours, rounding off all of these edges, building up the landscape around here. But we just wanted to talk about a few simple techniques here.
Right, and so now you should have now 3 different techniques for doing water, and that is just building up land around a blue base plate. You have the method where you could put colored plates underneath here that were different colors and then tile over everything, or you can tile over completely just your plate. All right.
Naomi asks, what do you think about the Mills standard for water using dark blue trans tiles? Naomi, I don't know the full standard, but what I've seen of Mills gives you a lot of, am I wrong here? Please let me know. I think it gives you a lot of ability to have your water dug out down into the model, right?
Yeah.
I think while she doesn't use Mills, Alice Finch talked with us about that at Bricks Cascade.
Yes, it's true.
About really being able to dig out. So can you tell me more, Naomi, about what you mean?
And I wanted to say too,
I understand the Mills standard, just not as it relates to water.
Okay, bye Shane. See ya.
Shane.
All right. So here, I just want to show you that adding a dark blue, now that you mentioned the dark blue, look how interesting suddenly it starts to look by adding some also dark blue transparent tiles. Now we don't have a lot of dark blue. We have an excess of, well, I don't know, but I mean, we have enough tiles to make a pretty great water feature. Oh, but also do not underestimate how many tiles it will actually take to cover a surface.
Yeah, well, that's another reason why I think I talked about this last week. The reason why I pull my tiles and plates and bricks in advance is because I want to be able to do the same level of detail everywhere, and you don't want to just run out and have it be plain. So this is also another example of what I mean by a rule. Like if the rule is for every area of this lighter blue here that you've got a couple of pixels of that, then I'll make, 15 different shapes of those 2 little things, all over. So whatever your rules are, continue them because the physics works the same throughout your model.
Yeah. Oh, let me see. Oh, so Christopher's saying that he will be our guide to London if we come to London. Well, we are planning on kind of doing a mini European tour next week.
No, not next week. We're talking about
next year. Sorry.
Next year. Don't worry,
Wishful
everyone.
Thinking.
Don't worry, everyone.
Next year when we go to Billund to show our stuff in the Lego house, we're gonna do. We're gonna do a little mini tour. So hopefully we'll be hitting up London. And he says he can teach us how to speak Cockney and that we shouldn't be talking like Dick Van Dyke and Mary Poppins.
Oh, well, I would really appreciate that. I don't expect to meet any chimney sweeps when we're in London. I mean, I'd be fine with it, but I bet we won't.
Yano is here.
Oh, right on.
Hi, Yano. You use loose pieces for water. Oh, you know what, Yano? That is actually a completely legitimate way to do it. It's called the tumble is what we call it. And that is, sorry, I should have mentioned that, is like building up a shore area and then kind of just pouring 1 by 1 rounds into it to do water. And they did that, I think, for the first time with the ship in a bottle. And it is very popular with people online, although, I guess technically it's a Lego move.
It's funny. In the early weeks of the Build and Chat, Moto made a bingo card of things you're likely to see on the Build and Chat, and one of them, I think of myself as an affable guy, but one of the things that Moto said you would see is Richard disapproves. And that used to be me about tumbles. When we first got into Lego, I was so like, it has to be system. What do you mean it's not attached? Everything has to be attached to a stud in the right way. And now I feel like it's art supplies. Use your art supplies however you want. Like, it's good to know the way, things fit together. That's good.
Absolutely.
Like Pablo Picasso knew how to paint and he chose to paint the way he did. And I feel the same way. Like, if you want to make good mocks, learn the way some other people have done the techniques and tricks, but then if you want to tumble your bricks, tumble your bricks.
Exactly.
Right? Like, we're pretty chill now, aren't we?
I think so.
Except with each other. We're like, the water doesn't look like that.
Yes. All right. So now we're going to talk a little bit about trees. All right. So this is... Oh, Wilfred's here. Bonsoir, Wilfred. Welcome. Oh, Mr. Elmo Man is here. How's it going? Ah, Dallas Rich. Wow, like a bunch of people snuck in while we were building. Hooded One is here. Cool. Hi, everyone. Patty Sharon, how's it going?
Hey, Patty.
Yeah, this is great. And Drew is here. Wow, this is awesome. So great to see everyone. All right, trees.
Logan brings people.
Logan brings all the boys to the yard. It's true.
I can't expand on that. There is no way to make a pun on Milkshake and Logan. I'm sorry. I don't know. Maybe Shane? Anyone?
I'm sure Shane or Moto will come up with something.
But should they?
Oh, Christopher Coster's here. Hey, Christopher, how's it going?
Wow, so we could end up spending the rest of the day looking for plates to finish out our shapes, right?
But we're moving on to trees, so we don't need to worry about that.
Well, I just mean if we're making our own mocks, we end up spending a lot of time
hours
looking for them, right?
Okay. So with trees, with basic trees, could you find, please, the 2x2 round bricks?
2x2 rounds, yes, I can. Should we show them regular trees?
I'm going to show you some examples of how we do trees. The 2x2 rounds are on the shelf over here, I think.
Oh, thank you, Anesh.
All right, so this is not dissimilar. Actually, it's kind of almost exactly the same as our method for building rocks. Although I'm gonna actually jump back real quick to show you. And again, like now you can. I still need that. We can do. I'm gonna go here. Goodness. Ta-da.
What, to wider or
no, to here?
Oh, hi.
So I'm going to start with the most basic tree. So I'm not going to start with the rock style tree. I'm going to go with the most basic of basic trees. So
we need an axle.
You can do, just 2x2 rounds, right? Oh, look, shaky hands. You can do these 2x2 rounds.
Nice that you've already added another color in there, so it's not just a boring brown stack.
Well, and these are left over from, I believe, from Ewok Adventureland, where we used every 2x2 brown round we had. So here is a little trunk that I made, super simple, and yeah, if you want to put some other colors in there, you can. I'm just gonna put it right down on my base plate, and then. The easiest thing to do is, first of all, you could do like a Minecraft style tree, right? With just green bricks, like stacking green bricks on top of each other.
Yep.
But I like to use, they're all the way there.
Here, just ask for what you need. I'll bring it to you.
Half arches and the leaves, please.
All of our first trees were incredibly fragile, and they fell apart if you looked at them. You want these right here or the trees?
Let's see.
They fell apart if you looked at them.
See,
we need dots,
I need the arches as well, please.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay. How obsessed with Harry Potter are you? 9 3/4. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. All right. Yes. And actually, Wilfred, it's very funny that you would say that. Wilfred says, round 2x2, put an axle in it, would say Technic Richard, and he just... dropped off.
I did. I handed him because our trees would fall apart. And in our California Dreamin' mock, I made a whole redwood forest that had about 30 trees in it or something.
Right.
So if one fell apart, it would knock the branches off all the other trees. Whoa! Play function.
That was intense.
Technic play function.
Yeah. Well, I will say that if you're doing this method where you're putting an axle inside your rounds, don't do what I just did, because you'll be sad later. Don't make a big tube and then try and cram this down. like it's better if you just do a few at a time. Like go ahead and, you know, string them on like beads, and then you can add, you know, some extra pieces on. If you try to do it while the whole thing is together, it will probably break in half. All right.
So I want to show them when you move to branches, I want to show them a trick I discovered on California Dreamin'.
Oh, sure. Oh, speaking of branches, cool bars would be an awesome thing to have.
Okay. Well, basically the trick I'm talking about is where there's a branch in here and then you fill the other dots.
Right. Yes. All right. So what I'm gonna do here is, you can see I've got my bars and clips I need, actually, sorry. And then I can just go ahead. I've got my branches. Now, if you wanted to do just like and this is what we did for our very first one, is we were doing redwood trees. Is this what you were talking about?
Yes.
So yeah, so one way to make an easy redwood tree is to actually sandwich. Well, it doesn't work so well with this.
Look, this goes on there.
Oh, sure.
And then 3 other dots.
Sure.
You want to always lock in your branches by some means, or you'll be sad, and you'll find yourself getting to the con or the living room or wherever with your model, and all the branches fall off, and then you need to start with them from the very beginning.
Yeah. So
reinforce.
You can do that. And
you saw that trick, right? That is such a huge help.
You can also do, this is also a possibility. You can, let's see. We were able to get...
That works with a...
You can do one in the center too, right?
No, that's
only
on the top.
Only on the top.
But you can do what you just did a moment ago and do it like this with a dot there. And does that axle not fit through anymore?
Let's see if we got this.
It may be that the axle doesn't fit through.
But it doesn't, but that's okay. We've got mostly axles. Now I've lost the round bricks. Oh, here we go. All right, so now I can just add another one onto here.
Yeah, just know you don't have your reinforcement anymore.
Yeah, you've only got 2, you're only clutching with 2 studs here. But, you know, if you keep doing this all the way around, you're going to end up with a fairly interesting sort of redwood style tree.
Yeah, and again, we set our color palette before we ever begin. We look at the bricks we have, and then we'll say this kind of tree is going to have light green and dark green, and the trunk is going to have brown and tan. And then you can make another kind of tree, and all of those follow the same rules again. Right? Nature does the same thing over and over and over again, just a little different.
Yeah, so this is a great way if you just want to make like an easy, super quick redwood tree and just keep stacking these up. And then you can add, you know, we always try to choose, what, like 3 colors probably?
Usually, like there's whatever our main color is, like, oops, sorry. If this is our main color, then we want a highlight and a shadow. And in this case, the olive green, right?
I love that color.
There, olive green is our sort of highlight, even though it's not much lighter, and then we've got the shadow. Okay. And that allows you on one side of the tree to paint light in and shadow on the opposite side, which makes your entire model more 3D. But you can add stuff to trees too, right?
So, yes. So here's now, if you want to start branching out.
Uh-oh. No, we need a sound effect for that. We need like a wah wah sound effect for that one.
So these half arches are your best friend in tree building.
And they're made the inverse, right?
Yeah, and so the inverse one's for different reasons, but you can do, you know, if you really want to go with super simple.
Back on camera here.
I'm sorry. If you want to go for super simple, you can just do 4 of these around, and you notice that I've got a dark brown one in here too.
Yeah. Will you?
And I'm going to make sure that I lock this in.
There's the key. That's the important thing to remember here.
Yes.
You put it on, reinforce it, and we show that side.
Otherwise, these just want to fall down.
Yeah, and then you're sad, and you don't want to be sad making trees. And I notice the simplest way is what he just did, where it's all 4 all even. But if you had 2 up here and 1 down here, then you've suddenly got a more interesting, like, I think about those Japanese trees that are like bent way over to the side like bonsai and have things come out, because again and again in landscape I like silhouette. right?
Yeah.
You think about what does the outer shape of the tree work like, and then you can fill it all in with branches afterwards.
Okay, here we go.
You've done that a lot. Create those asymmetrical tree shapes.
Oh yeah,
like with
for
the
sure.
elephant trunks.
All right, so again, this is just like a super simple, like almost telephone pole type tree. And, you know, depending on what you're doing, you can adjust this however you want,
Well,
however tall you want.
Let me add to that just for a moment. You've got all these branches are the same, but if you want these to be different, then just put plates underneath one side or bricks underneath one side, and you can immediately vary that, and it'll look less like an umbrella.
Right. So what I was going to show you is that we've got... also, don't be afraid to mix in these smaller ones as well. If you really want to get some good variety, like adding in a smaller one, now instantly that is going to be different. This is also another great thing you can do is if you want to put these together, like that again, is adding one of these now either facing this direction, or if you are brave, you can put it on the end of this. And it's not exactly like system, but you can then adjust this branch this way or this way.
If you look at, if you've seen episode 1 of Lego Masters, we did that heavily in the spooky bat forest, right?
Yep, yep. And like, do we have 1x2s?
1x2 bricks or plates?
Bricks. And then, so another thing you can do to add some variety is adding in bricks, either 1x1 bricks or 1x2 bricks to be... Oh, perfect. Thank you.
You see something I've done here too? There's a color palette pre-selected. We'll pull that out, and anything we use in there works on the tree.
So maybe I'm going to do this, and then now I'm going to fill in maybe in this direction. Or maybe I'm going to put on a jumper plate and have a branch coming out of the very middle. Right? So that's another way that you can try and do it.
Let me add to that, put that branch on that you just had on. Any second branch. Whenever you do this, just if you have these two branches, lock them in with a plate. Just reinforce as you go to stay happy all the way through.
Yeah, because these are notoriously want to fall off.
Yep.
So just make sure that you're locking everything in. So like in this case, I would maybe do another 1x2 brick.
1x2 brick right here.
1x2 brick. Like this. And then maybe I would put a round, or probably actually a plate, a round plate.
We've got, yep.
Just so that I can add a little bit of variety. So I've locked these in, and now I can start adding additional branches. All right, so that's a great way, especially if you want to do, this is a great way to do spooky trees, for sure.
Are we going to add branches to the top of this, or no?
In a second, yes. Oh my goodness. Okay, so now I've got some crazy trees, right? I got some crazy branches at different heights or whatever, and I can add in, maybe I'm going to add in a small one up here like we were talking about.
Well, you can also add plates onto this. 1x(n) plates can extend each of these out into twigs.
Exactly. So if you wanted to, adding a plate on here, I'll use this white one just to show you, but there, now I've automatically added extra space for branches.
Yeah, and you can build up this end, you can build underneath.
So one of the things that I have noticed while making trees is that this, like, first of all, the problem with the umbrella tree is then it's just like a big sort of flat on the top, right?
Right. It's important to think, where's your viewer? Is your viewer a camera and you're going to put the picture up on the web? Then you'll make trees in a different way than if your viewer is at a convention and they're going to walk all the way around it.
Right, and they're going to be looking in 3D. So I've locked all of these down. But still, like, I could use some more variety with these branches. Like, I can add some underneath, but as you know, these start to get real dicey if you try to, like, put too much. But they do, I mean, you can hook 2 or 3 of these together before they start falling.
Well, can I show them something, too? Mm-hmm. Well, we need a 1x1.
See, there you go. Notorious for falling off.
Well, just talk for a second about Lego does in their sets reinforce this. They'll put a 1x1 square or dot in there, and then a 1x3 plate across the top, and that will never fall out.
To sort of lock it in, you can also use a 1x2 tiny curve plate that will go, you know, the one that goes from one level to a lower level. And then we can, we were talking about this the other week, but to hold on, like if you really, really want to hold on to your branches together, is using those little carrot tops. You can kind of hold those branches together. So not only are you going to lock it in here, but locking these in as well.
Anyone who joined us today and didn't see that, here's one of those.
Yes, here's the little green carrot top. So you can use those here, and then that way you can, now I can lock these two branches together with this little carrot top.
And do these work too? Because if they are, I'm going to start using them. Right, it's not long enough, is it?
Not to connect the two of them together, but you could use these for further things. But that's sort of a more advanced technique. All right, so what I was getting to is the issue of how to make leaves that aren't just like flat, straight across leaves. And I'll tell you, the greatest thing that I was able to come up with. Where are the clips and bars?
Underneath your chair.
Ah, very good. All right, so one of the things that I really liked, and I'm just going to be, obviously if I was doing this for real, I would be using different colors, but I want you to be able to see what I'm talking about here. So I'm going to show this. So I have this empty space. I'm going to use this plate with a bar on it. Like this, right?
In the right color.
Then I can take one of these plates that has a clip on it, like that, and I
got this.
I can sandwich I can attach my leaf to that clip, or I can even attach it here if I want it to be further in, like this. And then by attaching that clip onto that bar, now suddenly I can tilt this leaf in whatever direction we wanted.
And then if you think about it like shingles, you can do that all the way from the lower portion of the tree. You can do it from the lower portion of the tree here, up and up and up, making shingles on top of one another, and then angle them any way you want. And if this was only attached at one point rather than two, then you can also angle it, you know, this way.
So this is another piece. Now I use them in black, but again, I'm going to show you this in white because it's much easier to see. This is the other piece that I have found invaluable. As a matter of fact, I find this even more valuable than this one, and that is this. Hey, Minifig Nick is here. How's it going? This is a rounded plate with a bar on it. And I want to show you how this works because it's so cool. And this is what I did with Snake Queen with our little branches that we had to do. So if you use this piece,
let me pull this
like that,
a little.
and I'll just take this, or no, I'll grab another clip, why not? I'm gonna grab another clip, if I can find one, a plate with a clip on it. Oh my goodness, I should have gotten all this stuff ahead of time. But like I said, Monday. All right, so I'm gonna take another one of those clips, and I'm gonna add my branch onto it, and then I'm gonna clip it on. Now, what's so awesome about this is now not only do we have up and down movement, but because of this rounded piece, this will now move from side to side. So now I have side to side and up and down.
And again here, like with almost everything we've talked about so far, you could put a let me take this. You could put a 1x1 round tile right there, and then put a 1x2 plate in maybe green or brown on top of that, and it'll lock it in super sturdy. Because then once you've got 50 branches on here, you don't want to have to go back and start over from the beginning because they all fell off.
Right. I'm trying to show you, I'm sorry, I'm on our Instagram right now, kind of trying to find you. We did so we did this big sort of like pink tree for our Treasure of the Snake Queen piece, and it was very difficult and kind of fragile.
Well, you did that one. That was one of your early trees, right?
Right, but what I
There it
really
is.
wanted.
You got it.
Where's that? Oh yeah, here we go. But what I really wanted was to be able to create something that was round, so, or roundeder. Is that a word?
Roundeder. Oh, it'll be in the dictionary soon.
Thank goodness.
There you go.
See. Oh, there it is. Oh no, that's not the one. I actually want this one. Okay.
Perfect.
So here is the result of this. So this is my pink
scale that a
tree.
little?
I can't actually won't. I don't
Oh,
think
it's
it'll
not like the
scale
other.
up
It's okay.
anymore. Yeah. So anyway, this is the pink tree that I made, and this is done using this method that I just showed you, the rounded plate with the clip on it.
So you've got 3 colors. You have 3 colors of branch in there, right? There's is it lavender, pink, and dark pink? Something like that?
Yes.
And then we also worked lights into it.
Yeah, and also don't be afraid to mix up your colors of your branches. I mean the sizes of your branches. So you can see on this one, I wanted that kind of like almost long, stringy sort of
well, almost like a willow. Right?
Weeping willow look. And I ended up just kind of making some. It wasn't exactly the most solid, but I did end up doing a lot of this kind of work where I was adding, branches on branches on branches like this, making a string of branches, and then I can point that whole thing.
And what we discovered is that doesn't travel really well, so you just have to have to be prepared when you finally set up your model. And we show Snake Queen again with that entire forest, right? Was done with most of that.
Those are all
was clips, right?
These are regular trees, just regular Lego trees.
No,
you mean that? Sorry, yes. Okay, so this whole area that you see in the center with all of those branches kind of covering that lower cave, that was all done with the clips method.
Yeah, so we created the rock work. First the cliffs were there, and then he put branches sticking out of the cliffs, and then the Lego green leaf branches on top of that.
And then we actually had a second kind of tree. I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick.
Well, you had the
here.
spooky one on the dark side, right?
Right. So I had a spooky tree, and instead of like the rounded kind of soft look, I wanted something that was a little more angled and pointy and kind of evil looking. And now I think we're getting way past. Oh no, there it is. So you can see here on the side, you can see our sort of crooked tree with like the pointy branches.
And another thing you can see on the left, I don't know if you're seeing this on a phone, that might be tougher, but on the lower left to the left side of the purple waterfall are branches just sticking right out of the rocks, right? They're not in the ground at all. They're just like moss and branches. And where do we have that elephant trunk piece, Flynn?
Oh golly, I don't know. It's
it's tough.
Somewhere.
There's a curved Lego brown piece that looks kind of like an elephant trunk, and it has a stud on the end. I don't know where we would have that one.
Wow, this is
like a tour through our Instagram.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know how that happened. Here we go. Hey, we're back. It's us.
Hi.
All right. So those are basically my yeah. You want to take care of that?
I'm gonna have to step out for a minute.
Bingo.
My boss is calling.
All right. So those are some basic trees, and now I'm going to go back to what I was trying to show you at the very beginning, and then I decided to kind of move backwards. But I was talking about how I treat trees, beginnings of trees, kind of like the rock formations we were talking about. So I'm just using different size slopes, right? All different sizes and colors. Like if you really want to mix it up, and again, it's your choice what kind of colors you want to pick, right? I mean, maybe you're making something that has dark red in it, but I'm just going to start making some interesting shapes here. And the trunk of a tree has like roots that stick out, and you can do something like this maybe. And I'm going to just keep on kind of adding things around until I have something that I'm, vaguely satisfied with as a as a tree. And like maybe I want to add this into here, like this, right? And then maybe I could add something up here. And it also depends, like if you're not going to see this side, then, you know, maybe it doesn't matter. Ow, that hurt my hand. There we go. But I didn't like that. That was a little too low. So maybe I want to move this out one, and I can fill this in with a brick, and now add that on. And it looks like if I add a 1x1 brick here like this, now look at that. I am suddenly all the way up to a single level. And look at the nice variety I now have on my tree trunk. Now I would have, whoops, if this wasn't an example, I would have mixed up the colors a little bit more. But you know, that's an interesting tree trunk, right? All right, so maybe now I want to go in even further. I kind of want a little bit of a, let's say I want a little bit of a more crooked tree. What I eventually want to try to do is to get, the way I do it is I want to get down to the 2x2 here, all right? And now I've made an even more sort of crooked tree. Now my tree is starting to go off to the side. Inverse slopes are another really great thing to use when doing this kind of tree. Now I know that I have some inverse slopes around here somewhere. Here they are. Now this is going to be kind of a stumpy looking tree, and normally here I would probably use square, but since I have these rounds out right now, I'm just going to use these for the sake of showing you what I'm talking about. And now I can start using inverse slopes like this to create, and I don't have a brown one, so I'll use a dark red one. This taller one too can create start to branch outwards. And again, you're going to want to make sure that you lock these down. So in this case, what I would do is I would put a 1x1 brick here, and then I would probably put a corner plate like this, or maybe a 1x3 plate across the whole thing, depending on what I wanted to do. Let's see. For now, I'm just going to fill that gap in with 3 admittedly odd colored dots, but I just want to get that in. Or, heck, the other thing I could do to lock this in is to put another inverse slope here. All right? Now I'm starting to get some interesting levels on my tree. And now I'm going to revert back to what we were just talking about, and that is adding these half arches around to try and add some variety to my tree. So now look at that. Now I have a tree that is different. It's got different sizes, branches at different size. Yes? All right? Happy little trees. Happy little trees. So I will, this is the way that I like to, this is probably my favorite way of doing trees. And again, like now that these 2 branches right here, these are kind of locked in, but these, if I actually have a little bit of room that I can now turn these branches a little bit and have an even more weird tree. And of course, now I can go in and combine all of those things that we were talking about before by adding in different branches and colors. Maybe I'm going to do this. And Richard is right. It is best to think about these things like shingles. So maybe do your lower branches first and then start adding on, right? And now I can, I can tweak this further by, I've got rotation on the branch, I've got rotation on the twig that's pulling it out, and I can go up and down. So look, I've already got a very complicated curve going around. And then from there, it's really a matter of filling in space. So, once I get all my branches on, I got to kind of look and go, oh, this looks good, but there's this big gap here. So let's say I have these two branches together. And now you can see I've got pointed down, but look at that. I've got now this big gap in between. Well, what we did on our Snake Queen piece, and I find that this works really well in general, is kind of creating a weave or a web of branches. So I'm going to connect these together with this little branch. Whoa! It helps if it stays on. And again, this is why you want to have these locked, you want to lock these into your plates. But just to show you, I'm going to sort of create a mesh out of these branches like this. And I can start building up here too. And what's awesome is because these branches have a little bit of flexibility, you can actually sort of bend them to the shape that you want a little bit, right? And yes, those are stressed a little bit, but look at the fantastic shape that it makes going around. And like I said, the branches are flexible, so creating a roundness using sort of a mesh of branches all connected together, I think is a really good idea. All right, so I could go on for hours and hours, and maybe we'll do a show where we just talk about trees, but those are 3 pretty basic ways you can do trees, maybe going into a little bit more advanced, but I get very excited about making trees. So there you go. So you should be able. So now you can do a tree using just the 2x2s with the branches. You can do a tree using these half arches, and now we looked at a way to do trees like we did rocks using different colored angled slopes and then regular bricks. And I said that I would use a square here, but really this really kind of blends in. The round blends in, and it doesn't look all that terrible. So that's totally fine. All right, another way I could show you to do trees, and I'm not going to go into it today because it's long and more advanced, but this is the trees that came with one of the Harry Potter sets, and this tree is actually built studs out, and it's a method I would like to show you in something that we did on Snake Queen, but this is, this is for a different purpose than the 3D tree. Oh gosh, look at that. We are almost at time, but I did say that we were gonna talk about cliffs real quick. Gosh, I almost feel like that needs to be on a whole nother, it's like a whole nother thing. But we're gonna talk about cliffs real quick. And how, and in particular, the reason that I wanted to do this, this cliffs, to show the cliffs is because I wanted to have it be with the water. And I wanted to mention something that Brickmaster Amy said. There was one of our pieces that we wanted to include a water feature in that we didn't end up to because of time. But one of the things that, that Brickmaster Amy talked about was making sure that the water was alive. And she says she sees too much water that's just like flat. And that's kind of what we were talking about before by adding different colors into it, especially adding the foam or the things along the shoreline. So I'm going to go ahead and start off my cliffs with burps, or big ugly rock pieces, as we call them. So I'm just going to make, oops, sorry, I guess that doesn't make sense. So I'm just going to do this like this, and you can see I'm using one of those nifty corner pieces. And I've got my, I've left a space for my waterfall. And what's great about this is these are already like mostly done for you. But what I was, like I mentioned in our last class, you also have to be able to add some variety into them, and you can do that by utilizing, you know, slopes and sort of filling them in. Now, if I was being a really good Lego builder right now, I'd be filling this all in with plates and all that good stuff. But that's not really what our focus is right now. What I could use would be the gray slopes. Hi, you're back.
Hi, I am back.
So I could use those, and then what would be awesome would be some snot pieces. The ones that we use for like the brick heads ones.
Okay. Will you talk a little bit about trusses and large waste color structures on the back side of rocks as well?
Oh, sure. So you want to support, like Richard was saying, you're going to want to support all of these things.
Imagine
all right?
talking about structure.
And you're, this is a great place to use all of your, this is a great place to use all of your, what we call waste color bricks. So I know I'm not going to be using red bricks in this particular mock. So I'm going to use all of my red bricks to fill all this space in where nobody's going to be able to see it. To be able to do that. So
and it doesn't, if I could just add one little bit to that, it doesn't have to be 2x4 bricks or 1x3s. You can use truss pieces, you can use large windows, you can use Duplo, anything to get you some structure so it doesn't all fall apart like with the trees.
So I'm just gonna.
That's cool.
I'm just gonna build up kind of quickly here, just because I wanna. We are kind of close to time, and I wanna be able to squeeze in the last couple of things.
Okay, I'm gonna. I am highly confident that you are good on your own here.
Oh, okay.
I've been called away to work. I have to do a little bit of research. So I'm gonna say goodbye to everyone. I'm so glad we got a chance to hang out. And I'll leave you with Flynn.
All right.
So we're not going to be here tomorrow, so I'll see you Wednesday.
Bye. Have fun working.
Nice rocks, Flynn.
Thanks. And I'm kind of showing you, this is sort of what I showed you last time. Now look at this. I've already got a really awesome shape here, right? And I've made sure to, here, I want to make sure that I stagger this a little bit, my cliff. That's something I think is important if you're working on cliffs, is to think about staggering where your pieces are going to go. And I could even, look at this, I'm combining a burp and a lerp. So I'm combining a big ugly rock piece and a little ugly rock piece here for some detail. I can do that. But terracing is really important. So one of the ways that you can start a cliff is by basically building stair steps with bricks and then filling in with other pieces like slopes to give you something that will look a little bit more interesting. But so for now, I'm just going to fill these gaps. And again, if I was being a good builder and not just showing you an example, I would be building all of this up with waste colored bricks, with whatever my waste colors are. Although to be fair, these big rock pieces are very sturdy. All right? Very nice. And you can see here where I've done this. And look, I'm even using an old gray brick, which looks great, right? So, yeah, so for building cliffs, burps are your friend. Like, absolutely take advantage of them. You will be happy that you did. I can tell you that. All right, so the real, so that's big rock faces. And I think that you'll find that once you start adding in, just like we talked about last week, once you start actually adding in all of the little bits, you're going to find that those burps are starting to look less like burps. All right? Yeah, lots of burps today. We're like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory up in here today. So many burps. All right, so let's talk a little bit now about how we're going to make this. I know that wasn't like a lot of, WGJL Productions, that is not the way to get attention. I'm just going to say. All right. This is where I've left some gap for my waterfall, right? This could be, and like Mr. Elmo Man was saying, that this could be a micro scale waterfall. It could also be a regular sized waterfall, depending on what we're going to do with our plants and that kind of thing. But for now, I'm going to show you just what I can fill into this sort of space here that's going to go down into our water. Okay? All right. So, yes. So here is the piece that I like to use I like to do my waterfalls studs out. And there's a couple of different ways to do them, but since we are pressed for time, I'm just going to show you the one way that I like to do them. Now, this is the way we did it in, oh, these are snot brackets. The one way that...
Different snot pieces?
Yes, I need actual snot pieces. The multi-snots would be good.
There you go.
That's all right.
Multi and single?
Sure, why not? Thank you. And,
oh, look, it's like you have like a valley.
Yeah,
here.
so I've made space for our waterfall.
Oh, got it.
All right, so now I've got this 4 space gap, and here's where I'm gonna go in with my multi-snot pieces. I know he's really good. He as soon as he hears me looking for something, he always runs in with the answer, which is great. All right. So here is so it really doesn't in the end matter what kind of snot piece, like what color these snot pieces are, because ultimately you're not going to see them. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab enough of these, and if everybody remembers correctly, I will go over again how to make, and this is actually really important, how to make these in system. Okay, so the general formula is between snot pieces, 2 plates, 2 bricks in a plate, or 4 bricks. And that is, when I say 4 bricks, I mean that's how many bricks are in between one snot piece and another snot piece. So I'm going to go ahead, and I don't have 1x4 bricks next to me, so I'm just going to do it this way. Now I could do 2 bricks in a plate here, but I don't think I've got any single plates, so I'm going to go ahead for the 5. So or the 4, sorry. I'm going to put in my 1x2 bricks. 1, 2, 3, 4. And my 5th brick is going to be this. All right? Oh, Jake Potter, you made it to your first tree. Excellent. All right, very good. There you go. And that looks like, actually, for the size of waterfall that I'm working on right now, that looks just about to be the right size. So I'm gonna go for that. All right. So now I've got my nice, I've got my I don't even know what I'm saying. I've got my snot pieces laid out here. I know, words are hard for me sometimes. I'm going to find, oh, look at this. I have a little map. Sorry, everybody. Off camera for a second. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and grab a blue plate, and you can see that I can fit it right over here, like this. And that one's a little short. And what I can do here is I can then fill this in with a 1x(n) plate, right? Like a blue 1x(n) plate. Now, what's great is because of the way the snot piece works, there's this little gap here, and you can actually sit that right down onto your studs. Now the thing is, your plate is gonna ride on top of those studs. So do you want that gap or not? All right. So that's up to you, and it also depends on how you want to, like how you want your stuff to work. I am wearing shorts. It's true. It's hot in here. It's really hot. Okay, so now I've got this. Actually, I'm going to move this back a little bit because I want that to. Let me see if I can make this work. Come on, you. There we go. All right, so you can see I've got my. Sorry. Now I've got my little waterfall coming out from my rocks, and maybe I want to. I may actually want to sit it back a little bit more. And the reason that I want to sit it back a little bit more is because I'm going to want to detail. this. And maybe, let's see if I can find my, oh, I don't know where those are. Oh, here they are. I was looking for my one by plates here, so that I can get a little something to put on the top here of my waterfall. And because this, let me see, sorry. Because this, at the top here, this is flat to this, I can actually add now a plate this way for the top. Right, so there's my river coming from wherever it's coming from that's going to turn into my waterfall. And then I'm going to put this in here. All right, so now I have the base of my waterfall. So I'm going to want to, and again, I'm not going to, I've got a lot of pieces out here, but I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit on here, and maybe I might add, now I know this isn't the right color, but I'm just going to throw another brick in here, because of course your waterfall needs to be, you know, the rocks need to come up a little bit higher than the surface of your waterfall. But you can, you know, there's multiple ways you can do that I'm sure you can figure out. But then I can, now I want my river to continue and come down to meet the water down here. So I'm going to fill in with these plates. Now, one of the things that we were talking about, like, we want the, woo, oh my goodness, wow, I painted myself in here. There we go. So we were talking about this sort of, so we were talking about this sort of little gap here. Well, you know, it doesn't really matter that much because we can easily cover this up. And now, if I wanted to go ahead and fill in like I did with the other ones, and I'm using a slightly longer piece right now because we have that, right? I'm going to use my tiles here. I can also use my clear tiles here to give some motion of like water coming down, right? You want it to look like it's in motion. So what I've got here is I've gone ahead and put my tiles here, and what I would probably do is I would maybe use a plate or two, and I would put it right here, just to kind of raise this up, and then I'm gonna fill in, what was that?
Remember Brickmaster Amy talked about water?
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, yeah, about how she said you want the water to be alive. So this is a really great, really great way to make your water alive. I'm using clear cheese wedges and plates down at the base of this waterfall to create what looks like the splashes at the bottom of my waterfall. Now this isn't going to be the greatest splashes ever made, but I think I think you get the point. Is just putting some, wait, those are hard to, oh my goodness, that just doesn't want to go on. So one of the things that there you go, one of the things I like to do is just to make sure that I'm mixing up the directions of those cheese wedges, just so they're not all, you know, you don't want them to all be facing down. You want it to look organic, so you want to mix it up a little bit. And I'm going to put this back in here. And remember, this is all dependent on what kind of thing you're doing. So check it out. Now I have a waterfall that has splashes down at the bottom. And they're slightly, you know, and they're slightly offset. And maybe I'm going to add in like this little blue one, little blue dot as well. Right? And I could maybe do the same thing at the top, because sometimes it rushes when it gets top. And you could try maybe doing some more tiles on here, some splashes in here, just to give it a little bit of motion. And again, I would probably do this with tiles or dots. Let me see if I can find my tiles again. Yeah, you can't see it, but there's like boxes piled up all around with all the different parts we've been using. I meant to have a bit more of a learning package put together, but you know, I've been doing a lot of teaching and packaging things. So I'm gonna, there, I've got my tiles back again. And just like we did with the river water, I'm gonna go ahead, and sorry I'm off camera for a second, I just want to be able to show you what I'm doing here. I am going to tile the front face of my waterfall with some blue tiles, like this. But do you notice though how how those white parts make it look like it's running rather than it's just a big blue blob coming down over the edge, right? Another, you could use some white here, like if that's what you want to do. Like white would not be entirely out of place. Dark azure or medium azure wouldn't be out of place. And so you can kind of create this flow. And then, you know, the thing is though, if you're going to add in white here, make sure and add in some white down here. Don't let this be the only white, because then it becomes a sort of a non sequitur, and you just sort of look at it and you're like, why is there white there but not anywhere else? So that's just something to think about as well. And you know, you can add some variety by using plates to add some texture to it, or however you want. And now you can see I've got this little step down, so I can fill in the rest of my tiles here. Let's see how that goes. All right. And then maybe if I'm, you know, because I didn't plan this too far out ahead of time, what I would have done is in place of these tiles here, I would put another plate and then put tiles on top of it. So that way my waterfall literally flows down a little set of tiny steps. All right. So I'm gonna try and fill a little bit more in here so you can kind of get the idea. And of course, I'm doing this the hard way. The best way would be to take that off. I'm so ridiculous. The best part would be to take this off and fill in along here. And I'm going to add in another clear plate like that, and maybe one here. Oop. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm not going to put one here because you don't see those. I'm going to do it this way. And you notice this time I'm making sure all of my tiles going downwards, right? I want all those tiles to be facing the same direction. And let me see if I can find... Oh, and actually, you know what? If I want to merge these, let's see how this looks. Because I may not need to fill in those two little gaps. And no, you can see them and I hate it and it looks awful. So I'm gonna fill in this. I'm just gonna fill in with a dot. Why not, right? Like, it doesn't matter. As long as, I mean, you know, just keeping your, again, like if you're going to use one thing, then use it a couple times. Like I've used this, I've got a flat round here, so I'll use another flat round down here as well, just so that it doesn't look too out of place. And now I'm going to put this back into its intended place. And check that out. That gap that we were worried about is now completely covered. Like, no one is going to see that. That space is done and covered, right? So another thing that you could do if you want to create more flow, and this is something that we did, and I'm going to show you real quick a waterfall that we did. I mean, actually, you saw it earlier. But I want to show you something that I don't necessarily have the time to show here right now because I couldn't get to the curves if I tried at this point. So check it out. This is the waterfall that we made. This is the waterfall that we made for Snake Queen, and I made it purple because I wanted to look evil. But you'll notice that in the flow, I've included these curved pieces. If you can see those light lavender curved pieces, those are another great way to bring in some flow and shape. If you don't want something that's completely flat like that, using those little curved slopes are a great way to bring in more motion. And I think actually Wilfred mentioned something, is that you could also use that here to cover that little step that we were talking about. And the problem being, as Minifig Chick points out, is those don't actually come in trans clear pieces, unfortunately. Those little curved pieces. Yeah, but it's also fine to mix up, like that. If that's your look and you want to mix up trans and non-trans pieces, great. That's your look. That's the way that you want yours to look. And you can see that ours is the same way. And we actually ended up going in and adding, and this may have been taken before we did that, but we went in and added purple and clear transparent dots all in this water to give it even more sparkle. And it's just, that's one of the things I love about doing water, is being able to bring light and sparkle into it. Yeah.
Well, that one thing we came to was randomize and then edit, right?
Yes, randomize and edit, exactly. All right, so there you go. There is my finished sort of simple waterfall. All right. There you go. All right, so we are at, oh my goodness, we went almost 2 hours. Holy bananas, and I've got class soon. Anyway, that is, that's going to wrap it up for our lesson today on landscaping basics. Sorry to goodness to keep you here for so long. But so just to quickly review what we went over today. So we talked about trees like rivers and oceans and how 3 different ways to do those. We looked at a couple of different ways to make trees. And then we looked at one method for creating a cliff and creating a waterfall that then will feed into our water there. All right. So hopefully you learned something new today. I hope that it wasn't too much. I'm sorry. I know that was probably a lot to take in, but fortunately these are all archived, so you can go in and see them. Check it out. Watch it again if you need to. All right. Well, thanks everybody so much for joining us today for our landscaping basics. I hope you had a good time. We are not here tomorrow because it is Tuesday, so we will be, we're off tomorrow, but we will be, I know, poor Richard. He can't even get in the room because there's so many boxes on the floor.
I just came in to sit down and say bye to all of you, and there's a mountain, there's a whole wall of Lego storage containers
everywhere.
Oh, look, it's me, Richard, even though I don't have my glasses.
So I just wanted to say, you can find us on Instagram at TrickyBricks. Make sure you're working on your micro build challenges. Make sure that you email me. Today is the last day that you can email me at flynn@trickybricks.com for if you need a set. All right? If you need a set, and one of these, which is the one we're doing, the Lego City Street Sweeper, and that challenge starts this Friday. So make sure you have yours in hand by then, and if you need a set, email me.
Right away.
Chance.
Right away.
And golly, what else? Oh, yes. So if you want to send us something through the snail mail,
we love fan art.
We love
letters,
fan art and letters. That's true. And actually, I think we're gonna do at some point a sort of fan art contest.
That sounds like fun.
Fan art contest.
Sure,
but we'll see.
All right.
It's just an idea rolling around in my head. Actually, we had a nice chat with Moto and Minifig Chick and Holly after the stream yesterday about some things that we might do coming up. So there's some exciting stuff. Okay, so
more, better, more fun stuff.
Yes. So you can get us at P.O. Box 11517, Oakland, California 94611.
You always
I gotta run
racing that one.
So and also too, if you want to support us, we do have a Patreon and a Redbubble store and a Venmo, and all that information is in the video description as always. But this is, obviously not a requirement. Everybody is welcome. This is a free show.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
We hope that you're all having a good time. All we ask is that you let other people know, your friends know, whoever know, about the show. Ask them to subscribe and come drop in and see what we're doing. And, you know, we also simulcast on Facebook Live as well while we're doing the show.
Everyone on Facebook.
So we hope you all have a really great day. Make sure that you stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands, wear your mask. We have to add that. We've added that one on now.
Yeah, in California, it's law now.
Yeah, do a mask, and we will see you next time. Bye,
everyone.